Welcome on in to the 411 podcast. I'm doing good. I'm here. I made it. I'm thankful for all of this. And we getting ready to go in tonight. We definitely going to have a great show tonight. I said that last night, and it wasn't just great. It was an amazing show. Shout out to Self-Made EST. We had such a great conversation last night, and so many people participated, which was good. Thank you so much, Amari. You said you enjoyed last night's interview. Thank you so much for that. Actually, when I got done broadcasting, what's going on? I'm gonna just call you 799. Please drop it in the comments and let me know where you're calling from. I went back and I watched the replay last night, and I was actually blown back by it. I was like, yo, what just happened? So, like I said, breakthrough moments come through, those aha moments come through. And last night was definitely one of them. And just so that people know, if you go and watch the replay, that was the first time that I had a conversation with Self-Made EST. That whole interview, his whole guest appearance was set up through a mutual friend. So it wasn't like him and I rehearsed it. So back in the day when I used to ask, what's going on, Birdman? Thank you so much for joining. I used to question a lot and say, should I continue on this journey? Should I continue to podcast? Should I continue to go out night after night after night? And when I would question and start to almost feel like I want to throw in the towel, nights like last night would happen. And it's that confirmation for me that, okay, something, is some, miracle basically happened. I know last night we spoke about miracle expectations, but that's basically what would happen. Something mystical would happen to remind me that this is the path, this is the journey. Let's keep moving. Let's keep doing it, and let's keep doing it. So I learned not to question things anymore. When people show up, when they come on a podcast, I embrace it. When people don't show up, when people decide to say, hey, I'm not coming on, or they don't even, give me a heads up or notice or anything like that. I used to get extremely upset about it in the beginning. But now I'm like, damn, don't get upset, because there's a reason why that person didn't show up, because the message and the whole direction of the show needed to go in a different direction. So I just embrace it all and just go with the flow. So we getting ready to go in tonight. So I don't know what y'all been going through. I don't know if you've had any breakthrough moments. I don't know if you've had any, I guess, evolutionary moments, put it that way. But we getting ready to have another one tonight. So we're talking about letting things go. Track 16, Let It Go. But before I do that, I want to give a very special thank you to my executive producer, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for allowing me to come out here and serve each and every one of you. And like I said, last night was a prime example of it. And that lets me know that the 411 podcast, everything that we have going on here is way bigger than me. So, and again, would not be possible without each and every one of you out there. So thank you so much for hanging in there with me. Facebook, y'all definitely did the thing last night. Like most of the time when I'm out here, I really have no idea who's watching for the most part. You know, I get a few little hints here and there, but the real surprise, I guess, shows up after everything's all done and you start closing up shop. But I want to say thank you so much to Facebook for showing up last night and doing their thing. We had Twitter show up last night. I know it's X, but I still call it Twitter. Thank you so much for that. D Live family, let's see if y'all show up tonight. Again, Instagram, I appreciate that. Young Amari says, stay the course and trust the journey you're currently on. And that's just basically it. Just taking it one day at a time and learning how to live in the present moment. So, we're talking about letting it go. Track 16, Let It Go. And what better song that I could pick? I don't believe that I'm sure I could. Well, I'm not going to say that. So I don't want to, I'm just not going to say that. But Um, song of the day, Let It Go by Toni Braxton. So this was off of her Secrets album, but before it was the Secrets album, and I'm so glad, Amari, you're on tonight. Before it was Secrets, it was a Waiting to Excel album. So when I was thinking about the Waiting to Excel album, I was thinking, wow, if I'm correct, because I remember, back in the day when you had the cassettes and you had the CDs, you would basically, look at the booklets and stuff. That's one of the parts of this whole digital streaming era that I just can't really get with now because there are no books to look at. I mean, I started to see how they give you a little bit of preview as far as who wrote it, who produced it, and all of that stuff. But the credits and the information from the CDs that I used to get back in the day, which made me fall in love with music even more because I had something tangible to hold on to, is not available now. But in any case, if I'm correct from when I was a teenager, 15, 16 years old when this song first came out, did Babyface really write and produce every single track off of that soundtrack? Because I believe he did. And the way that he did it so well, it seems like every single artist besides Brandy, I think it was, a couple of them, but the big powerhouses, Whitney Houston, Mary J. Blige, Toni Braxton, um, the song that was on the soundtrack ended up carrying and flowing on so powerful that they were able to put it on an album. Toni Braxton put Let It Flow on the Secrets album. Mary J. Blige put Not Gonna Cry on the Share My World album. So it's just amazing how, but I think that that's correct. Let's see. Love that soundtrack. Plenty of our black women are featured on that soundtrack. Yeah, I love getting albums in physical form. You appreciate it in the music and the process more. The artwork and the booklet are important too. I really do miss that. Now we just get one little picture of the cover. We don't get the extra photos, and I don't get to see what studio they recorded it in, and the featured artists. I don't get to learn about what record label they came from. Appears courtesy of. You used to see that on the inside of the CD booklets. But all right, let me get back on track. First of all, to let you know that I'm just going in tonight, so I'm speaking about letting things go. Um, Toni Braxton, of course, Let It Flow. What a great song to match up with this here tonight. And if you want to get the full version of Disc 3 Evolution, all 17 of the different topics and the different tracks that I have is available on X, formerly known as Twitter. Head on over there. You can get all 17 tracks and it's in an audio version. But tonight, we going in. We live here. Disc 3 Evolution. Thank you so much. What's going on, Bethany? How are you? Thank you so much for coming in. We have New York in the building. We have Cali in the building. Thank you all so much for joining in. So listen to this, what Toni Braxton says when it comes to let it go. Let it flow. I say, Toni Braxton says, let it flow. I say, let it go. So there comes a time when we could all make a change. So when you are going back and forth with somebody, or you might be in a situation and you feel that there's no growth, or you feel that you might be spinning your wheels and you might be stuck. Statements like there comes a time when we can all make a change. And here's another one too. There comes a time when we must go our own way. So I get that you're here right now. I get that I'm here right now. But whatever we got going on, it's just not working. We tried it, it didn't work. And there comes a time when we must go our own way. And there's nothing wrong with that. See, today I've learned that there's nothing wrong when somebody says that it's over. And the problem is that if one party says it's over and the other one doesn't believe them, that's when there's a situation. And I'm going to speak to you tonight about believing what somebody says out of their mouth the first time, and trying not to change the situation, trying not to manipulate the situation, trying not to control the other half. So there comes a time when we must go our own way, and it's okay. Because listen, the minute that you allow somebody some peace, the minute that you allow someone some freedom, there's going to be something around the corner that's waiting for you. But the minute that we stay stuck, and I've used this analogy before, we stay stuck in quicksand, the other person is like, I'm done. And you just staying stuck. You just keep sinking. You keep sinking. You keep sinking. And that sinking is basically you lowering yourself. You lowering your standards. You lowering yourself of who you really are, because you didn't get the message when somebody says that it's a wrap. Shout out to Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey has a song called It's a Wrap, featuring the queen of hip hop soul, Mary J. Blige. And ironically, Mary J. Blige has a song called It's a Wrap too. And that basically means that's it. Both of them, both of the ladies on both of the albums, they're speaking about a relationship that it's done, it's over. It can't be repaired. It's a wrap. And how crazy is it that when I've heard people say, I'm not in a relationship, but she's in a relationship, or I'm not in a relationship, but he's in a relationship, all because they're afraid to let the person go. They've already been gone. Shout out to Faith Evans. She has a song called Going Already. Already been gone. You still holding on, but guess what? I've already been gone. So it is what it is. Okay, so we in a relationship? All right, so like I tried to let this thing go, but you keep holding on. I tried to let this thing go, but you keep holding on. So the fact that you keep holding on when I keep telling you no, fine, whatever. So yeah, that's cool. We in a relationship. But in reality, mentally, I'm going already. You know, what's that song, Amore? I'm looking at the front door. Who sings that? That's a hip hop classic. I'm looking at the front door. Wow. Mm. Track 16, Let It Go. Sometimes you just got to let things go. And see, we end up hurting ourselves because we want to hang on to something that's not there. So I saw something on social media where somebody's like holding on. The other person's walking in the other direction, but the other person is holding on with a rope. And while they're holding on, they're doing nothing but getting that rope burn. They're getting that rope burn because they're holding on while the other person's pulling and tugging in the other direction, and they're pulling and tugging, trying to hold on. So have you played tug of war in your past relationship? Have you played tug of war in your past friendship? How about a work environment? When you're not wanted in a work environment and you know that this is just going to go sour, but you keep on holding on, you keep on hanging on, and then ultimately things really go bad. See, sometimes people give us warnings. People give us warnings when it's soon going to be a wrap. So when you get those warning signs, when you notice something's not right, when you get that gut feeling, when you get that instinct that something's not right, what is your reaction? What is your movement like? When's the last time that you were in a situation? How is it that we can go into environments where we're not wanted? I mean, for me personally, I never was that type of person. I would pick up and leave immediately. If I felt so uncomfortable that I'm not wanted and people were giving me bad vibes, I would basically pick up and leave and go. But there are some people out there, they call them people pleasers, that will put themselves in a situation where, and in environments where they're not wanted, and allow people to disrespect them, allow people to talk to them any type of way that they want to. I've seen videos on social media where some people will allow people to physically assault them so that they can become the joke of the crowd at the moment. How sad is that? So if anybody out there that has put themselves into situations where they sit at tables where they're not wanted, they put themselves in environments where they're not wanted, this might be an opportunity where we just need to go ahead and let it go. Let it go so that you can go ahead and flow on and move on with your life here. I want to speak to you about this, share this with you. This is from Khalil Gibran. So Khalil says that if you love somebody, let them go. For if they return, Simply Unique, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining. For if they return, they were always yours. And if they don't, they never were. So if you love somebody, things don't work out well. Somebody says that it's a wrap. It's not working. Let them go. That's the best thing you can do. If somebody wants to walk out on your life, I know y'all have heard it before. Let them go. If they go out there and they see that the grass is not greener on the other side, right? And they come back, if you're in a position where you think that that will work for you, then I guess that person technically really not yours, but okay. That person is yours. But if they don't come back, they were never yours to begin with. And in reality, people are not ours to begin with. So we don't get an opportunity to collect people. We don't get to hold people as if they're trophies or awards. So if somebody wants to get up and they want to leave, they have every right to. Where we get it twisted, like I said before, is where we try to control and we try to manipulate and put people in situations where they feel that they have to stay. Have you ever been in a relationship where somebody has guilted you into staying and hanging around? I haven't been in a relationship where I was guilted into hanging and staying around. But the sad part about it is I was the person who was guilting the other party. I was the person who was throwing things up in their face as far as, look at all of the things that I've done for you. After all of the things that I've done for you, do you mean to tell me that you're really going to call it quits? After we spent all these years together, after we spent all of these months together, I was that type of person. And that was never really love. Because if you love somebody, you don't get the opportunity to keep track. Keep track and keep score of all of the things that you've done for somebody. So when I think back of mostly majority of all of the relationships I've been in, I would keep track, I would keep score. So that wasn't really love. And the reason why it wasn't really love is because I didn't love myself. I didn't love myself enough to know, shout out to my girl Mary, didn't love myself enough to know that this just ain't working. Shout out to Khalil Gibran for this here. If you love somebody, let them go. For if they return, they were always yours. And if they don't, then they were never. Dr. Tempo, what's going on? How are you? Thank you for joining in here. So, Self-Made EST came through last night, and we had a great conversation. Spoke about music, spoke about life in general. And I strongly urge y'all to go and watch that replay. Spoke about miracle expectations, making it happen, doing things to make that thing work. Miracle expectations, not hanging around, not sitting around waiting for somebody to do anything for you, having that mentality, that positive mentality, that vibe, as far as this is it, I'm going to make this work. See, sometimes if you've hit rock bottom and you can't get any lower, the only way that you can do is look up, think positively. Miracle Expectations was about speaking positive, wonderful, beautiful, amazing things into your life and not necessarily waiting for somebody else to do it for you. Because guess what? If you don't do it, then who else is going to do it? So go ahead and check out that replay from last night. It was amazing. And the burning question that I had last night for my special guest was, if you could rewrite anything from your past, which would in reality change the course of your life today. So let's say you had one opportunity to go back and rewrite. I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite it. And as I rewrite it, it's going to change the course of my life. So you're able to think about something or some place that you have turned to that you may have not necessarily been proud of. But now that we know better, we want to do better. So I'm going to just go ahead and rewrite this small little portion here. So if you had that opportunity to go ahead and rewrite something from your past, and please go ahead and drop it in the comments and let me know. You can also text me as well at 609-738-0611. That is the official 411 podcast hotline. Again, that number is 609-738-0611. If there's one thing from your life that you can go ahead and rewrite, what would it be? And I'm going to share with you what my response is. Now, I spoke about letting things go, finally getting to the point where you're able to just let it go. And there was a point in my life where I couldn't let it go. I couldn't let people go. I was always trying to hang on to people. I was always trying to manipulate. I was always trying to control a situation. So if I could rewrite something, which I know we're really not supposed to, we're supposed to just live in the present moment, learn from our past mistakes, and allow that to shape our future. So I'm going to just go along with it. If I could rewrite something from the past, what I would do is rewrite how I was not able to accept people for who they were. And I have to catch myself sometimes. I'm going to be real vulnerable tonight and give you, just the realness behind it. Because in order to glow up, you have to learn how to grow up. So I had to grow up in order to glow up. And the glow up is what y'all see here today. The wisdom behind it all, the mental shift, the positivity that is in my world versus what I had before, which basically is the exact opposite. Birdman says, I would have never gotten married to my high school girlfriend. Listen, I know exactly where you're coming from. Listen, if I had to, and I go back and forth with that too, because had I not done that, I don't know if I would be here today. And that's just the reality behind it. So it's easy to say, oh, I would have not done that. But if we didn't go to some of these ridiculous places and make some of these ridiculous mistakes, I'm not quite sure that I would be here right now. And that part is a little interesting. And even as I answer this question here, when I said accepting people, if I could change something, it was basically to accept people for who they are. When they told me the truth, I should have believed it. And see, they told me the truth, but I didn't want to believe it. I wanted to create my own little situation, hold on to that person. And I used to speak to you. I spoke to you all about how I would, guilt trip, take track of everything that I've done. And that would make people feel a certain way and almost make them feel as if they were obligated to stay. And then after that, that's not being authentic. That's not being real. So at that moment, it wasn't a real relationship. It wasn't a real friendship. And then that's where the back and forth and the nonsense started. I remember somebody telling me, Laren, I'm so sorry, but I do not think that I can be the person that you want me to be in this relationship. And at that moment, for a quick second, I believed him, but then after that, I didn't. And it was kind of ridiculous now that I look back, because had I just went along with it, when people want to walk away, let them. If had I had just done that, my life would have been in a whole different. But again, I don't know if I would be here or not today. Zach, thank you so much for joining. Please let me know where you are calling from. So I go back and forth, and I said I would be a little bit vulnerable about it. Sometimes I feel for the other person. I feel for some of the people from my past, because I didn't allow them to go when they said it was over, it was done. And because of that, I created a lot of nonsense in my world. I created what I call is hell on earth. So when you get out of a relationship, you get out of a situation, the first thing that somebody wants to say is, look what they did to me. Today, I say, look what I did to me. Because can't nobody do anything to you unless you allow them to. And I stayed in these situations way too long. So if I could change things, I would definitely learn how to let some people go quick. The minute that you say it's a wrap, thank you so much for your time. Like for me today, that's exactly what happens. You only have to tell me once. And actually, you may not have to tell me at all, because if I start to sense something or I start to feel something, I'm not going to go back to having hell on earth. I'm not going to go back to having a disruptive environment. I'm not going to go back to a situation where I start going round and round with people. I'm not going to go back to a situation where I let my ego, get the best of me. So we don't get the opportunity to play those games today. And I realize that, in some cases it is a game. And what do you want to do? You want to win or you want to lose? Because the only way you can get to the other side, the only way that you can clear this board here is if you learn your lesson. And if we don't learn our lessons, time runs out, we hit the reset button, and then we go through the same situation over and over and over again. And then if you're anything like what I used to be, you would turn around and ask yourself, how is it that I just got out of this relationship, right? But why am I experiencing the same type of in this situation that I did the last one? And then you're asking yourself the same thing with the next situation, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. If you were that type of person that still keeps having these same people show up in your life over and over and over again, doing the same exact thing, oh, she cheated on me, he cheated on me, over and over again 1,000 times, stop pointing the finger at all of those people. You need to look in the mirror and start pointing the finger at self. Everything starts with self. That is your divine. That is the universe teaching you a lesson. Like, listen, you didn't get it. So guess what? We got to hit the reset button and you got to do it again. I use this analogy. You get a brand new car, right? I'm trying to get your handle name properly. Tankoi, Tankoi, how are you? You get a brand new car. You got some fly rims, nice paint job. You go down a road and it's full of potholes. You're scratching up your rims, rocks are flying up, scratching the side of your vehicle. Now, after you've learned that situation and you've gone down that road, you've gone down that path, are you going to do it again when you know what the aftermath is? And I think it's so bizarre that we care for materialistic things more than we care about ourselves. So we'll make sure that we change the course of how we drive. We might glide over the potholes a little bit. We might dodge them. We might go around them. Because we've been there before. We already know we don't want our car to get jacked up. But when it comes to ourselves, when it comes to our relationships, when it comes to our interactions with people, We don't know how to let it go. We don't know how to let these situations go. We want to keep driving down the same road. We want to keep dealing with the same issue over and over and over again. And you know what the definition of insanity is. I used to say it a lot, but I haven't actually said it in a while, so hopefully I remember. And I'm gonna put my own little salt and pepper on it. But going through the same situation over and over again, waking up, doing the same thing over and over again, having the same type of interactions every single day, but expecting a different outcome. That's insanity. I know who you are because you already showed me who you are. But today, I'm just going to believe that you're not going to lie to me when you've been lying to me for the past 6 months. Now, all of a sudden, I'm supposed to believe and think that you're not going to lie to me. And see, we trick ourselves to believing that something different's going to happen. That's insanity. I feel so sorry for people who are stuck in relationships, and hopefully somebody will get this message because I used to be that person where I was stuck in a relationship, felt like I was stuck in a relationship. And some of the music out there, it's a shame because when I listen to music today, it's so powerful because it really can shape how you think about things. It's a shame because I was in a mindset that maybe some of these artists were in when they recorded it or whatever the case may be. But songs like Estelle, Thank You, where she basically says that this pain is not going to leave and it's going to stay. And, you were my heart, you were my everything. That's a problem. That's a problem when you give someone that much power over your life that you turn around and say that this person is your everything. Here's another thing that I just used to hear people say: you were my other half. Absolutely not. How are you calling somebody your other half? So you mean to tell me that you are not whole, you're not 100%? That somebody else needs to step into your world to make you 100% and make you happy and make you show up and be the person that you are destined to be? Now, you came into this world by yourself, but you mean to tell me that it takes somebody else to make you whole 100%? We got to be very careful about the titles and the power that we give to somebody else. See, when you don't know who you are, I've said this several times before, the people on the outside, they can sense it. And once they can sense it and they know, oh, this person, oh, it's not all together. This is a joke here. I can go ahead and manipulate this person. I can go ahead and control this person. I can go ahead and take advantage. Sometimes that happens. Got to be very careful when you go ahead and give up your power to somebody else. Sad part about it is that if you get too deep and you get real deep and you stay in it, that might be how long it's going to take you to come up out of it. So be very careful with that, giving people too much power, giving people titles and allowing them to shape and mold and put you into situations. Zach, thank you so much. I appreciate you for that. I don't know who I'm talking to tonight, but if anybody out there has experienced some of these issues, some of these scenarios, please drop it in the comments and let me know. And also, I get it. These are some sensitive topics. These are some topics that, you know, not everybody wants to, openly speak about. Please feel free. Text me at 609-730-611. You can also DM me as well. Not everything requires it to be public. I get all of that. So, yeah. Trust and believe. I've been there. But what I will tell you, though, if anybody out there is stuck, contemplating, thinking, best way that you can change some things in your life is to speak about it. My life didn't change until I started to actually speak about it and talk about it. Now we're going to get a little bit deep when it comes to letting things go, letting people go. One of the best things that I've heard is when people show you who they are, believe them. Maya Angelou, one of my favorite quotes. When people show you who they are, believe them. The first time, not the second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth. The first time that they show you who they are, believe them. And I'm telling you, thank God that I know the things that I know today, because you only get one opportunity. Why give somebody more chances to show you who they are when they already done showed you the first time? What are you waiting on? Acknowledge the situation that you're in. If you have an issue with letting things go, just acknowledge it. And then ask yourself, do I really want to carry this weight? I'm having a hard enough time carrying my own stuff, handling my own self, taking care of my own self. Why would I want to sit there and take care of somebody else's situation and take care of somebody else's baggage and carry on somebody else's? You carry on weight when you don't know how to let people go. Unnecessary weight, weighing you down. And just think about carrying a whole bunch of bags. Shout out to Erykah Badu. She has a song called Bag Lady. Just carrying a bunch of stuff. You start to look a little homely. You look sad and down in the face. Why would you want that? Don't stay sick. Do what you have to do for yourself. Absolutely. Oh, don't stay stuck. Do what you have to do for yourself. Absolutely. Got time to be carrying somebody else's baggage. I don't have time to keep going back and forth with you, arguing, going through the motions, making me frown, making me look older. I don't have time for that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Acknowledge. Acknowledge the situation that you're in. Am I carrying too much? Here it is. All out on the line. Start to evaluate. Sometimes journaling will help. They always say write out the pros and the cons. Whatever situation, whatever relationship you're in, write out the pros and the cons. Is this going to work for me? What does this situation do for me on a positive side? Is it an asset or is it a liability? An asset is anything that's going to add to you. Shout out to Lettucey. She has a song called Add to Me. What is this relationship going to do? Is it going to add to me? How can you add to me? Now, if it's subtracting, if it's dividing, if it's taking away in a negative aspect, that is a liability. See, when we have these people show up in our worlds, we got to be very careful for someone who's quick and easy to attach, always showing up out of nowhere. Why are you hanging around here? Where you come from? What's your agenda? What motives do you have? And I'm not saying you got to always be suspicious, but you got to be very careful, because the minute that you take on the responsibility of allowing someone to attach themselves to you, it is done. And then now you're stuck with this situation for as long as, it all depends. Whether it's contracts, whether it's, marriages, whether it's whatever. You signed yourself away. Did you sign yourself into something that's going to be an asset, or is it going to be a liability? You took on that job, and now you got to travel a little bit further. You might even have to get on planes. You might even have to work, 12-hour shifts or whatever, or overnight shifts, whatever the case may be. That you took on, is that an asset, or is that going to be a liability? And for me, I don't have time for liabilities. Absolutely not. I have no time for no liabilities in my life. I've dealt with them enough. And I don't want to deal with them no more. Roy, what's going on? Drop it in the comments. Let me know where you were calling from. After you figured that out, whether it's an asset, liability, all of this baggage, all this extra weight that I have carrying. I don't want it anymore. Here comes a part where a lot of us struggle with being able to surrender and be like, you know what, this is too much. I can't take this on. So the fact that I can't take this on, the fact that you and I continuously keep going round and round, the fact that we have been in this situation and we have not elevated to a different level, I'm going to just go ahead and back up. I'm going to back up. I'm waving my white flag. Said it has to be like that. It ain't working out. You know what song that is? No condition. It ain't working out, baby, in another life or space. It ain't working out here. It ain't working out in another life. This ain't gonna work out even in space. So I'm waving my white flag. Said it has to be like that, but it is what it is. And when someone waves their white flag, be good with it. Be okay with it. Let people go. You have the right to want something different in your world. And think about it on the other side. Would you want to be in a situation where you wanted to leave and somebody didn't let you? Now, see, I haven't been on that other side too many times, maybe about once. And it's sad once you do move. What's going on, Desi? How are you? It's sad once you do move on, but they still don't let you go. See, we got to let people go. We can't hold them hostage mentally either. We can't put out that bad energy where we're holding on and harboring resentment and negativity towards the other side, because believe it or not, that other person can still feel that energy. And the sad part about it is that that person has moved on and gone, but you're still sitting here having resentment. You're still having negative vibes. You're still holding all of that stuff in. And as that other person is able to exit and leave, and you're still stuck in that quicksand mode, you're still stuck in that negative mode, you're poisoning your own system. And I wonder if people would stop doing that if they realize that when you don't learn how to forgive somebody and when you don't learn how to forget, okay, let me take that back, because we probably don't forget things, but you have to learn how to forgive. And it's not necessarily for the other person, but it's for you. Because the minute that you continuously hold on to things and have resentment, negative vibes, wishing ill will towards the other party, you're poisoning your own system. And I'm so glad that I woke up and realized that. So you mean to tell me every time I have those feelings about that person where I feel like I want to drive down there and do something, that feeling that I have on the inside, I'm actually poisoning my system? And that same feeling, that adrenaline rush, that anxiety rush that I have going through my body, that I feel as if I'm still in the same situation that happened right there in the moment, that's not a good situation. I'm so glad that I woke up and I no longer have those type of feelings, because I used to get that a lot. Flashbacks, going down memory lane, and now you want to seek revenge on somebody who did something to you in the past. People who don't know how to let people go, people who don't know how to let things go, all you're doing is poisoning your system. And it's not good, because you know what happens if you continue to drink poison. Ultimately, you know what the end game is. So, and that can happen over a period of time. You end up looking older, poisoning your system. Meanwhile, the other person has moved on. Either they moved on to the other victim, or they decided to move on and change their life completely. And you would never know one way or the other, because you haven't changed your life and you're stuck. Let them go. And I know I've been on it a lot about people, but there's also places like I spoke about going and showing up to places that you're no longer wanted. Okay, I get that you used to hang out there every Friday and Saturday, but you had a disagreement with somebody. Now, you two are not vibing 100%. That does not mean that you have to still continuously show up. You were in a relationship and a relationship is over, but their friends are my friends. Now, I was a fool one time and I thought about that. Oh, that their friends are my friends and they're still going to love me and they're still going to like me after a relationship is over. So now, foolishly, you show up in environments that you are no longer wanted. You have to let that situation go. You have to let those people go. You can't keep showing up to those places. You're at a job. Somebody on your job lets you know that you're not wanted, whether it be coworkers, whether they gang up on you, whether they treat you a certain way, whether it be your boss, whether it be your employer. Let it go. Find another job. Find some other place to work at. Here's one situation that really, I'm so thankful for having the mentality of minimalism. In my life today, less is more because I've dealt with being in situations and being in environments where people did not know how to let materialistic stuff go. I know y'all have seen the TV show Hoarders. Now, thank God that I wasn't in a situation that was that bad, that was that detrimental. But had I stayed, borderline something like that. And it wasn't just one person, it was two and, three. And so now I have to ask myself, why does this keep happening? Three people, three different relationships. Every last person had a problem with materialistic things and not letting stuff go and harboring and holding on to things. I had to take a look at my life. I had to be like, wow, what things do you have that you don't want to let go of? What people do you have in your world that you don't want to let go of? And I had to just start letting stuff go. And I had to ask myself, really, Laren, how many pair of shades do you really need? How many glasses do you really need? Come on now. How many pairs of jeans do you need? How many, you know, I had over 100 pair of sneakers and shoes and boots and all of that stuff. I had so many jeans that I never had to wash clothes for a whole year. So, like I said, I had that mentality that, well, once I got something, it's mine. And so, of course, I'm going to attract that same, type of spouse, friends around me that they were the same type of way. So, of course. So, when it comes to letting go, it could be in form of people, places, and things. Just got to learn how to let things go, let people go. And the minute that you let some of these things go, let these people go, no longer put yourself in environments that you're no longer wanted in, you're able to hit that reset button. And when you hit that reset button, you don't know what the next situation is going to be, but trust and believe it's going to be something different. It's not going to be the same. And I think that's one of the biggest issues that, and again, I'm just speaking from experience, we're just so used to the same. We're just so used to the same situation showing up. We're so used to the same type of person showing up that we almost start to operate in a dysfunctional type of manner. That I'm not happy until there's some nonsense going on. I'm not happy until there's some drama going on. I'm not happy until there's some disrespect going on. Embrace the change. And it's real different. Like I'm still in a position where I'm learning, relearning something new about myself and my environment and the new people that are coming into my world, because this is something that I never experienced before. So you mean to tell me that you're really this nice? I don't have to go back and forth with you at all. You're really this nice, and you're always calling and checking up on me and asking how I am. That's different because I never really experienced anything like that. If anything, I was experienced the exact opposite. And here I am having to step outside of who I am to try to pull and reel you back in and hold you down and try to. I don't have to do that. It's going to be different. Listen, once you let things go, what's supposed to come is going to show up. But it might show up a little different than what you are normally used to. Hmm. Track 16, Let It Go. Disc 3, Evolution. I don't know who I'm talking to tonight. I'm not sure if I'm getting through to anybody tonight, but best thing you can do is please like, comment, share, tag a friend, because if you don't get this message, maybe somebody else will. Somebody close to you might. Spoke to you about health, right? When we hold on to things, when we don't know how to let people go, when we don't know how to let situations go, we keep rehashing the same thing over and over and over again. I'm telling you, when you don't know how to forgive people, you don't know how to move on, you're poisoning your own system. Your own health can become an issue. Embrace that change. It's not going to show up the same way that it used to. And I don't want to use the word I promise, but it's not going to show up. Once you learn how to love yourself, once you learn how to let these things go, let these people go, clean up your environment in several different aspects. Could be from a materialistic standpoint. Clean up your environment, let things go. You'll have room for the right stuff to come in. Think about it. You're at a store. You walk through the store. You didn't get a shopping cart. You didn't get a shopping basket. You're just walking around putting stuff in your arms. And you're walking around putting stuff in your arms. And then you put so much in there that something falls and drops. Your arms are so full that you don't have room to put nothing else in. So in order for you to put something else in, you got to let something go. So then now you start to get in your mind and say, wow, what's really important to me? What do I want from this store here? What do I need? Because I can't carry everything. Or you can go ahead and get your little basket and now you got some more stuff. And then guess what? You're getting weighed down with more stuff and weighed down with more stuff. See, today, less is more for me today. I'm able to move. I'm able to glide. I'm able to just coast through situations because I don't have all of these extra attachments on. Sometimes we just do things to ourselves. We allow all of these attachments, these people, these places, these things to tie us down and hold us down. Sometimes you just got to let things go. I'm not sure who I'm talking to out there, but listen, less is more for me today. I'm enjoying this moment. I'm enjoying every single piece of this right now. The mental aspect is so important for me today. And that's enough on its own. Forget about the materialistic part of it because that's something totally different. That stuff comes back in another way. You let things go one way, you'll get rewarded and it'll come back another way. As long as you're not being disrespectful and you are getting rid of things the proper way, it'll come back to you in a whole different aspect. But the mental piece of letting things go, you mean to tell me that the most important real estate that you have within your being is in your mind? That is the most important real estate. Why would you want to waste it thinking about somebody, allowing some situation, allowing something to take up all of that mental real estate, something that is not giving you a return on your investment, allowing someone to stay up in your mental that ain't paying rent on a monthly basis, allowing a situation to drive you crazy that is not giving you a return on investment. I started to think about it that way. And I'm like, absolutely not. Our mind can change the course of our entire life if we program it properly. So you have got to be kidding me that you think that I'm going to let somebody from the outside, something that is outside of me, take up all of that time and all of that valuable real estate when my mind can be focusing and churning and producing so many more positive things. Think about it that way. That's the part that I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for a new mindset. I'm thankful for this new gained clarity that I have from a mental standpoint. And when you learn what's going on, JR, when you learn how to let people go, this is a beautiful thing here too. You sleep better at night. You can sleep better. You can eat better. Wow. First of all, just that right there alone, a good night's sleep. How many people can't get a good night's sleep? I remember, and I know we got to get out of here soon. I would stay up all night, tossing and turning, raising all kinds of alarms, having all kinds of issues. And I'm thinking, wow, you mean to tell me this is what peace is like? For real? Wow. Now, today, thank you so much. Today, you do not get an opportunity to come in here and take up all of this real estate in my mental. Absolutely not. You coming? Okay, so you're going to be paying some rent and there's going to be some return on my investment here. And if not, and I realize that you are a liability and you are not adding, you got to go. And you will be let go. Trust and believe. But on the other side of it, if you decide that you want to let me go at any given time, I'm cool with that too. Because the minute that I let you go and the minute that I learn my lesson and realize that this was just an experience, this was just a moment in time, and I was supposed to learn from you because we're all teachers, and I learn from you and I get that lesson, now I'm able to catapult myself to another direction. But if I stay stuck, I'm not able to move to that other direction. Birdman says, you just spoke the truth tonight. Thank you so much. And what I spoke about the other night is this is what I'm talking about when it comes to evolution and comes to those breakthrough moments. I am so thankful for the mindset that I have today. And I most certainly could not do any of this without my executive producer. I thank God for allowing me to get to this point. And it's those people that show up and they teach us, and you never know. Like, what I want to rewrite some things from the past, it's easy to say yes, but I have no idea if I would be here. And that's why I'm so thankful. And I spoke before on future podcasts about being thankful during a storm. So I know it ain't easy. And I know sometimes it's been rough. And this person went through a breakup. This one was a shakeup. This was a divorce. This was you know, a death in the family. This, whatever the case may be, that's life. And it happens to each and every one of us. But the minute that we embrace it and ask ourselves, what lesson was I supposed to learn from this? What was this person supposed to teach me? Then we're able to get to the next level. And that's how I was able to get to the next level in my life. And I still have more, climbing to do because I most certainly have not made it. Um, the funny part about it is that we don't ever make it. And the minute that you think that you did, that's your ego stepping in, and that's a whole nother story. And we can be podcasting for a whole nother hour, but stay humble in the moment. Realize who put you there and who's keeping you there. For real. JR says, put them in your memories museum and move on. Even that, too, I hear you. Just for a brief, quick moment. And even though they might be in a museum, even though they might be on that record, even though they might be on that album, don't stay stuck. I've done that for so many years where you get so used to playing that same broken record over and over and over again, and you're staying stuck and you ain't moving. You also said, I'm not going back and forth with no one who causes a negative vibe. Absolutely. Not today, I won't. In the past, that was a whole nother story, but the man that I am today, as my friend from the Bronx says, once you know better, you do better. It causes you to just live differently. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all out there. Thank you, Instagram tonight. Thank you, Birdman. Thank you, JR. Thank you, Amari. Because you all are vibing with me on the same level. And it gives me confirmation as well. And that's why I like being around like minded people. So when I created the 411 podcast, it was just basically vibing with like minded people, getting people to connect and share stories because my life didn't change until I started to speak about it. Because all of those things that I spoke to you tonight about, not letting go, holding on to stuff, having all of these bad memories, having all of these materialistic things, and not wanting to let things go and just bogging myself down. The worst part is that I had all of that going on, but I was quiet. I didn't say anything. I just kept it all in. And the minute that something didn't go my way, the minute that something wasn't right, I turned into the Tasmanian devil, and my mouth was real vicious and real wicked. And I could chop a grown man down to their feet in less than 60 seconds by the stuff that would come out of my mouth. And I'm not proud about that because, listen, that's clearly not the person that y'all see here tonight. But again, it's about evolving. And thank you all so much for allowing me to speak with you, going back and forth, speaking with me. My life didn't change until I started opening up and living in my purpose and start speaking and podcasting and getting all of this stuff out. So don't stay stuck. Speak on it. Speak to the right people on it. Because sometimes you can tell something to somebody who is the wrong person and they can use that against you. Speak about it in a safe environment. Let people go. It was never yours to begin with. If someone is able to take something away from you, it was never yours to begin with. And when it comes to people, we don't own people. We can't control people. We are our own beings and we live in our own worlds. Try not to collide too much. If someone's not vibing on the same frequency as you, don't try to pull them up to yours. And hopefully they ain't trying to pull you down to theirs because it can happen very quickly. Know thyself. If you know who you are, they'll know who you are. And that way none of this stuff will happen. But if you don't know who you are, it's a tricky situation because then that's when you can start to become like silly putty. Play-Doh. People can mold and shift and make you up and dress you up and put you into situations that they feel that you should be in. And on that note, I'm going to get on up out of here because we're going to keep on going. Let things go. Let these people go. When people walk out on you, let them. So, tomorrow, reading between the lines. Yeah, this was a great show tonight. Thank you all so much. We have my friend, Lachelle Williams, coming in. I can't wait to speak to her. She's from the ATL. I'm going to be sampling this bottle of wine here. Terrain Vineyards, California Red Blend. Come back tomorrow. Reading Between the Wines, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have author Lachelle Williams coming in the building. She has a book called Perfidious Agenda, and she'll tell you about that tomorrow. Now, I got to get out of here, but I almost forgot the most important thing. Well, it's not the most important thing, but it's one of the highlights of the show, which is the burning question. So, 609-738-0611. Again, that number is 609-738-0611. That is 0611. That is the official 411 podcast hotline. I just got so caught up tonight, caught up in a discussion of letting it go. I was so passionate about it that I almost skipped over one of the highlights. Burning question I have tonight. If you had a chance to become a millionaire overnight, only to eventually lose all your riches one day, would you still walk through the door of temporary financial freedom? I'll go ahead and rewind that. If you had the chance to become a millionaire overnight, only to eventually lose all your riches one day, you don't know when, but it's going to come one day, would you still walk through the door of temporary financial freedom? Now, what I have to say about that is, I wouldn't do it. And the reason why I wouldn't do it is because you're going to lose it all anyway. And that's almost like becoming successful overnight, becoming a superstar overnight. And what goes up must come down. But boom, you're going to lose it overnight, and you're going to have a situation because you never know when it's going to happen. So for those of you out there, if you had an opportunity to become a millionaire overnight, only to eventually lose it one day, are you going to take that opportunity? Now, on the other side about it, I think the only way that you can really get out of this situation is if you do take the opportunity to become a millionaire overnight, but you're smart and you're savvy with your money as far as how you handle it, so that when it does fall out, when it does drop out, it wouldn't mean one thing to the other one way or the other, because you were handling yourself a certain way to where it wouldn't affect you. But majority, you know what majority is going to do. They're just going to black out. They're probably going to be shopping. They're going to be buying. They're going to be doing this. They're going to be doing that. Not realizing or remembering that one day this is all going to be gone. And now you're going back to reality, and you have to deal with that reality check. But if you can become a millionaire overnight and just focus and do things as normal and don't let it go to your head like brand Nubian, then you'll be all good. Birdman says, no, not at all. I'm happy with what I have. Like I said, these days, less is more. Don't get caught up in it. Don't get caught up in the hype. Let me tell you. Now, if you enjoyed the conversation that you had tonight, that you listened to tonight, you can continue this conversation with me on a one-on-one basis. You can head on over to larengaines.com and you can sign up for the coaching sessions. That's one-on-one private conversations with me, and we can go over whatever topic, whatever theme you'd like to go over. And no cameras, none of this, just one-on-one conversation at larengaines.com. Head on over there, sign up for that. Also, if you like travel, if you like adventure, you can text me at 609-738-0611 and I can help plan your next vacation. I can help you with an itinerary, where you want to go, set up your whole week's vacation, your whole weekend getaway, whatever works best for you. Day trips, wherever you'd like to go. Text me 609-730-611 and I can help build an itinerary for you. On the other side, if you like to vacation and have the same amenities that you have at home while you're on vacation, example, multiple bathrooms, if you'd like a dining room, if you like a full kitchen, washer, dryer, text me. Let me know exactly where you like to vacation, and I can help you with a condominium lifestyle, a condominium vacation lifestyle when you vacation with me, and I can help you save and you can get some nice discounts. For me personally, when I go on vacation, the best thing that I can do is have a full kitchen and the opportunity to do my laundry before getting back on a plane. Because the worst thing to do is open up your suitcase and now you have to go ahead and wash all of your clothes once you're back at home. So I like to have all of the amenities at home that I have at home while I'm on vacation as well. Now, I spoke about a lot of different things, and I have been speaking about a lot as I've been going through this 3 evolution. So we have the 4-in-1, we have reading between the wines. As you see, we sample different wines. I have different authors with their books. You're going to get all of that stuff on Whispers of Wisdom newsletter. Head on over to larengaines.com. Sign up for my new newsletter that's coming out next month. It's going to be one single email delivered to your inbox once a month, and you're going to get all of the great things that I just spoke about. You're going to get a nice bottle of wine. You're just going to get a picture. You're not going to get the full bottle, but you're going to get the bottle of wine, and I'm sampling for the month. Going to give you all of the wine tasting tips on it. You're going to get clips from the 4-in-1 podcast. You're going to get clips from Reading Between the Wines. I'm going to give you vacation spots. I'm going to give you availabilities if you'd like to book your next vacation with me. What else do we have? The coaching sessions. You're going to get inspirational quotes, all of that great stuff. Again, head on over to larengaines.com. Sign up for Whispers of Wisdom newsletter. The first is coming out next month. And one small single email delivered to your inbox once a month. Hey. Finally, what's going on, Onyx Blade? Thank you so much. We're definitely getting ready to get out of here. But thank you so much for stopping by. Onyx Blade showed up on Twitch tonight. So I appreciate you for that. Thank you so much. But yes, on this note, we have to go ahead and get out of here. And I want to say thank you so much for everybody who hung out there with me tonight. I definitely appreciate it. And again, hopefully you got something from this podcast tonight. And the best thing that you can do to help support is like, comment, share, tag a friend. Let them know what we have going on inside of 4-in-1 and Reading Between the Wines. Tomorrow night, Michelle Williams from ATL, author of Perfidious Agenda on Reading Between the Wines. We're sampling this bottle of wine, Terrain Vineyards. I'll see you tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And on that note, y'all have a good night. Thank you so much.